Okay, so Tom's now on his way to come pick me up. We're now heading to Leicester. We've just had an investor confirm payment for a apartment that we're selling for a client. We are working with a co-sourcer on this one. She's been very helpful so far. But yeah, so we literally, the deadline was for 3 p.m. for the money. He sent it at 5 to 3. But yeah, Tom's going to pick me up, had my haircut, done my cold outreach. We've got 3 yeses so far, so going so well so far. Just got to follow up with them, trying to better the process in terms of sourcing, making sure it's more efficient and we're not losing as many leads as what we've been losing. But yeah, so Tom's going to be coming to get me. I believe we're going to try and get a Q&A together. We'll see if we've got enough questions for a mini Q&A. Okay, so on our way traveling, we posted up an Instagram story just asking our followers just for a small Q&A, ask any questions that we can help answer and we can give our opinion on it from our experience. So we've got a list of questions here. We're just going to go through them one by one, and either me or Tom or both of us will answer, and we'll try and give the best opinion we can from our experience. So for the first question, we was asked, how did we both get involved in property? So to start it off, me personally, I had a friend, my best friend through high school, Alan Mays Accommodation. He was absolutely smashing the Airbnb game through COVID. I believe he got up to 9 or 10 properties under management, and he kind of gave me the ticket to get involved, explained the process and what I needed to do in terms of investing in myself. He kind of led me to the water. I was the one that actually followed and done the work. But yeah, in terms of property, I feel like I've always wanted to be involved in it since young. My dad was a plumber and my granddad again was a roofer in construction, so I've got a lot of family involved in construction.
So property for me was never really part of the plan. So I went to uni during lockdown. Again, I didn't even really want to go to uni. I just didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. But I ended up in Sheffield for university, dropped out of that about halfway through, and I was just kind of thinking what's next. So, you know, I was on YouTube one night looking for businesses to start with no money, and property came up, and I was thinking, well, that must be impossible, because my extent of knowing property was work for a while, or you have a business, save up and buy a house for people to live in, and that was it. So I've looked on these YouTube videos, and it's people sort of my age, 21 I was back then, just crushing it, and I was thinking, well, they must have had handouts or something. But the more that I delve into it, the more I realised that you could actually get started in property with little to no money. So I started educating myself. I bought into a couple of courses with some savings. Some were good, some were bad, and then it just kind of developed. I realised that we could do the rent-to-rent strategy, realised that we could do the property sourcing strategy, and that's kind of flourished since then. Just from YouTube, really, I guess, which is now good because obviously we're sharing our journey on YouTube, so hopefully we can inspire people to kind of do the same.
So the next question we was asked was, is this your first business? Now, for me personally, this is my first business in terms of taking it somewhere. I've had little businesses that I've trialed, so I had a studio that I tried. I also set up a cleaning company that just went to absolute shambles after day one. And I suppose I've always had this entrepreneurial mindset about me, the usual stories of selling sweets in school and doing what you got to do as a kid and whatnot. What about you, Tom?
Yeah, so this is my first business, anything to do with business. Unlike Freddie, I wasn't entrepreneurial. The only kind of entrepreneurial trait is that I never wanted to be in a job. I knew that I didn't want to work until I was 65, so yeah, never had a business. This is the first.
The next question is, why did we start YouTube? Now, Tom touched on this a little bit in the other question, but for us, YouTube is all about relatability, trust, know, like and trust. Essentially the foundations to selling in business. How are you going to buy off someone if you don't know them? But other than just know, like and trust, we also wanted to do it to give a realistic expectation of what is going to go on in life of business, what is to expect, what's the challenges we're going to face, how do we overcome them, how do we feel, and just talking about it on a screen. Ultimately, we want to inspire people, we want to help as many people as we can, and we want people to build with us on our journey as well. With the next question, we was asked, what is a day in the life like? Now, it's a hard question to answer because no day is the same. One thing that is the same is discipline, waking up out of bed and having to tell yourself what to do rather than have someone to tell you what to do. You can do nothing if you want, but you won't progress. So it's all up to that discipline. We also vlog every day of our life. So if you are genuinely curious about what a day in the life is, just watch the vlog. You'll get a very good idea of what we do. The majority of it entangles in just sticking with the business and doing what we need to grow it from all aspects, educating ourselves, networking, meeting new people. That's kind of the foundations about a day in the life. Also personal development, mindset growth and things like this. I really like this question now coming up. So the question is, what's your biggest achievement this year? So we'll start with Tom.
Yeah, I think for the business, I'd say biggest achievement would be hiring staff, because when you're starting out in business, it's difficult to let go of the reins, let go of that control, because it's, you know, your business is like your baby, and you don't want anybody to mess with it. You don't want standards to drop. So hiring staff it's been difficult, but it's allowed me and Fred to relieve ourselves of some pressure, and you know, we've learned so much by doing that.
Yeah, I completely agree with hiring staff. However, it's a bit different for me. My opinion, my biggest achievement this year is taking the step to leave full-time employment and moving across the country to pursue business full-time. I think the courage is taken, and it still takes, knowing that I'm relying on the income that I'm generating through the business to support myself. It's a massive learning curve as a man, and it's also it's really good in terms of developing myself as a man into this adult that I've always wanted to become for family and making people proud of me. So yeah, we've got some very similar spread achievements, and there is plenty more, but they're just two to kind of cover base. All right, so this one's an interesting one. Why do people buy deals instead of finding them? And I'm gonna leave this one up to Tom, because Tom bought his first property deal off a sourcer.
Yeah, so as Fred says, I bought my first deal, and the reason why I did it was because I was spending ages. I was literally hundreds and hundreds of messages and calls to landlords, trying to get a rent-to-rent deal, and nothing was working. I was getting quite frustrated, and a sourcer that I knew reached out to me, and she said, "Tom, I know that you've been looking for a deal. I've got one here. You know, it seems like it stacks. Do you want to take a look?" And I initially said no, because I wanted to find it myself, but I took a look, spoke to one of my friends, and we decided to go ahead with it on a joint venture basis, just because the opportunity was there. It was just easy to do it, and it had saved me like literally months of having no income coming in from property. So bit the bullet, bought the deal, and that's one reason why you do it. I guess lack of knowledge was probably the biggest thing that I had there. Wasn't selling it right to landlords.
How's the deal performing?
Deal's sick. So we've had it for like a couple of years now, and that property that we don't even own has made us upwards of £2,000 of profit in multiple months. You know, it's a big 5-bed in Derby, and yeah, it's crazy. Like, from a property we don't even own, it's just mental.
So it's a really good explanation, and we can see it from both sides of the spectrum here, because I didn't buy my first deal, I found it, and Tom bought his first deal, and the reasons are very, very clear. It is just the time you've got to put into finding it, as well as educating yourself as to how to find it as well. If you've got the money, you can skip all of that, get straight into the deep end and teach yourself from the property itself. But yeah, really good explanation. The next question, I really like this one, and I think it's food for thought for yourself. What separates you from the rest? So what does separate you from the rest? In mine and Tom's opinion, what separates us from the rest is our work ethic towards people. We're very high energy, we're always wanting the best for people, and we're we've got very high integrity with all the work we complete. Anyone in our network should be able to vouch for us for this as well. Another thing is the amount we give. We give so much value compared to what we take from people. We honestly just want to see everyone succeed. We understand the position a majority of people are in, being from that position, and the frustrations, challenges, and lack of confidence that it can bring on you with the self-doubt and things like that. So the best thing we can do is reassure in our journey, just try and give as much value as we can, because we understand how much we needed it. But yeah, I feel like that is one of the major things that separate us from the rest. And the other thing is just being realistic. We're not here to sell someone on something that they don't want or is not going to perform as it should. We'd never present you with figures where it's not going to perform like that. We always try and sell on the integral approach of we will sell it because we would buy it ourselves. And I feel like that's something that is lacking a lot in the industry, and hopefully the more we talk about it, the more people jump on board and we can get the same morals as what we're trying to push out there. Okay, so we've got, what's the furthest you have traveled for a property viewing? I'll leave this to Tom.
The furthest we've travelled would probably be now. It's 2.5 hours that we're driving now. We've had viewings go ahead on our behalf in different places like London, but we utilise our network with that. And here's one thing: if you're trying to view a load of properties and you're doing it all yourself, you're going to save yourself a lot more time if you just ask somebody who lives nearby, can you do us a favour? And if you return the favour for them, happy days. So that's how we get to view different places, London, further down south.
So what we usually do is we would offer an incentive, i.e. a commission, on the basis we sell the deal. It's got to be a win-win for everyone. Ultimately, we're going to be building rapport with these people as well for the future in our network, which is just going to create a stronger database of contacts that we can utilize to view afar. Like Tom said, this is probably the furthest we've gone for a viewing. However, it's not a viewing. We are selling a deal. We have confirmed money in the bank, so it shows more of a reason how the investor's serious, hence the reason why we take it up front. But yeah, in terms of viewings, I would recommend delegating to people in your network, working JVs on things with people. At the end of the day, the more properties you can view in your network all together, the more money that's on the table that can be shared with each other. Another good question coming up: what do you do to pass time on long drives?
Q&As. But other than Q&As, we usually, if it's like 4 hours, I'd maybe do 2 or 3 hours of a podcast and an hour of music. I don't want to do like just all podcast because I kind of zone out after a bit. But yeah, I'd say that podcast and music.
Yeah, for me, especially when I'm traveling with Tom, I'm in the passenger, so it's a bit easier as I can just crack on with work. Same as being on the train, I'll just crack on with some work, take my laptop there, do what needs to be done. I've got a to-do list that I go through. But if I am driving on my own, like Tom said, listening to a podcast, listening to music, sometimes I won't even listen to anything and I'll just brainstorm and kind of come up with a plan for the future. Or if not, I'll try and answer some calls. If I know I've got a call planned and I can do it hands-free, then I'll try and put it in with the time that I'm going to be driving to, just to kind of get maximum efficiency. The next one is, what do you do to... Wait, no it's not. Okay, so the next one is, what has been your biggest challenge today? So I'll start this one off. So in my opinion, I feel like the biggest challenge today in the business has been maintaining the growth. I feel like if we wasn't as proactive as what we have been to the situations we've been in terms of growth, the amount of units we've taken on, it would have been an absolute shit show. Now, how did we combat this? It's just creativity, understanding how life could be a lot easier running 20 properties compared to 2. How can you streamline communications if you're not in the business, and how to make it clear and presentable in front of all the staff so everyone's on the same page. And also delegating jobs, understanding, as an example, when Tom's away or I'm away, it kind of leaves one of us with the entire business on our shoulders, and that at that point is where pressure hits. but it's also the best point where I start writing down exactly what I'm struggling with in terms of time, what's doing my head in, and what do I not want to do or see again after today. So yeah, I feel like even though it's a situation of positivity, if you don't act correctly and you're not proactive, it can be very destructive for your business and also for your mindset. So that's my opinion on the hardest challenge. This is Tom's.
It links in with scaling, so it's, you know, taking on new units. So obviously we've got a rent-to-rent business, so taking on new units but without having the funds. So, you know, one, the mindset to go out and take the deal on without knowing we've got the money to do it, and then two, having the confidence to go out and ask for the money, because it's an awkward thing to ask people for money. But when you back yourself, when you know that your service is right and you know that it's going to work, that confidence just kind of comes along. But of course, you know, being young lads, it's always, you know, it's always going to be difficult to get over that barrier.
Coming up to the final questions. This is, if I'm new to networking, how do you think I should start? Now, this is a really good question, and I feel like this is going to help a lot of people. You need to understand the product or service you offer first, and you need to understand your ideal client, because if not, you're going to go into a room of people and one, you don't know who you're offering, or if you do know what you're offering, two, you don't know who wants it. So you're going to be offering a service or a product to someone who doesn't want it. At that point, you're doing a disservice. So what I would do is work backwards, just understand what you offer, who's going to need that service or product, and put the feelers out there. Everything's trial and error. You're going to get talking. I would just recommend, if you're starting off, just telling people you're starting off and explaining, hey look, like just taking in as much knowledge as you can, especially if you're not paying for courses. The best way to do it is networking. I would just ask as many questions as you can, take you down the right gates or garden paths to lead you to where you want to go, but ultimately just try and understand who you're trying to target, so you're not wasting time at a networking event. What about you, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, you touched on it there, but if you are new to it, don't let that put you off, because my first networking event, I was absolutely shitting myself. Stood outside, not going in for 20 minutes because I didn't think I had any value to give. But when I went in there, I just told people, like, yeah, I'm starting out, this is what I want to do. And as a result of that, people are happy to speak to you, give you guidance, give you support. And if you keep on showing up, that's going to happen even more. The first lady that I met at a networking event, we ended up actually working together about a year later. She's passing us property opportunities now. And it all came just because I was like, oh, listen, I'm not ready yet, but I'm going to go, I'm going to speak to people. You're not going to die. So yeah, just go, just get started.
And just some bonus questions. So we got asked, what's your favorite influential character and also your favorite supercar? So it was a bit of a weird one for me, because me personally, I don't really have a favorite influential person who's in the limelight or a favorite supercar. I feel like for me, a lot of my drive and motivation and like this want for success comes from situations of the past, where I've been, what I've seen, and where I don't want to go again. And also my reason why, the true reason why you do what you do. So for some people it might be for their kids, for some people it might be for their family, for some people it might be for siblings or for their friends, or they want a supercar, or they want all the money in the world, or they want a peaceful life. For me, it's not really been about the material. It's just more about I don't want to go to places I've seen, and I don't want to put my family in a position I've seen other families be in, which is a very unfortunate situation. So I feel like all this hard work I do now is a testament that that is not going to be the future for my family. So that's my answer to them two questions. What's yours, Tom?
Favourite supercar, I don't even know if it counts, but I would say a Lamborghini Urus. However, like Fred said, my reason why is the reason why I'm doing everything. A Urus isn't on the vision board. What's on the vision board is experiences for my family. It's making sure that they've never ever got to have to even think about money again. And the materialistic things come later. I mean, you should see what I'm driving right now. I'm not fussed because I've got that vision in mind. Favourite influential character, I would say Alex Hormozy, for the reason we've touched on before, is that he gives so much value, and that's kind of where I've learned of give away so much, because I just feel like that's a great way to live, and I feel like we should all be very giving in that sense. So yeah, that's my answer.
Okay, so that's it for the mini Q&A. I hope you all enjoyed that, and if you've got any further questions, please leave a comment down below so we can get them answered in the next video. But other than that, we're gonna carry on with our drive. We have about 30 minutes left, so we're gonna get there about 5 minutes early, ready to meet the investor there, view the properties, and then we'll head back. I just thought I'd make this vlog in the snow. Feeling myself in the snow. But yeah, so we're heading back from Leicester now, back to Manny. Went really well. That was good to meet the investor, actually, lovely guy, and hopefully I wish the best for him. If he does take it on, I believe it will do really well. It's already got £600 a month profit till March, set up as Airbnb as it is. So yeah, hopefully it goes ahead. We've got a couple of weeks of a refund period. The decision should be made before then, but you guys will see it. We're involved in the vlog. You'll see what's going on.
Hey guys, so today I am in one of the amazing apartments that we've got in Salford. It's in Media City, great area, and just have a look at this view. The reason I'm here is because we have got a thermostat issue, so the thermostat isn't connecting to the boiler, so I'm going to try and troubleshoot that. It's saying low heat, which is not good. It's warm in here anyway though, the building is super warm, so yeah, I'm gonna get this fixed. Also just had a sit call with Karma Alford, one of my best mates, deal sourcer focused on BRRs and flips down south. You know, one of them guys who you can just have a conversation about everything with, like, you know, I think we were on the phone for about half an hour, 40 minutes, and you just cover everything, like any topic, conversation never dies. And yeah, man, we're, you know, starting at similar times with our property businesses. So shout out Karma, make sure that you check him out, especially if you're interested in BRRs and flips down south. I should not be doing this. Confusing, mate. You'd think I was an engineer. The only job I've had before this is hospitality. Right, let's figure this out. As a man, sometimes you need to know where your limits lie. Mine lies at trying to figure out how a boiler works. It's time to get the professionals in. Just put a post out on LinkedIn about the first hire, because obviously, as you guys all know, you know, we've hired a virtual assistant. We're sort of training another one up now, and it's been a massive learning curve for us. You know, I had to tell myself off on the team meeting on Monday because I was still touching things that they were supposed to be taking care of, like guest messaging. You know, we brought them in and we were like, right, you guys are going to deal with this. One of them communicating with guests on Airbnb. And, you know, I still catch myself doing it, and it's just because we've been doing it for 2 years by ourselves. It's just like, you know, you see a message, you do it there and then. It's quick, it's easy. But you know, I said to the girls on the team meeting, I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I need to be disciplined with that. It's just stupid because, yeah, I don't know. You're not going to be able to pull yourself out of the business, are you, if you just continue to do things because it's easy, or, you know, because it's quicker if I do it. Like, it's just not how That's not how you scale something. So yeah, it's been a massive learning curve, the first hire, and yeah, just learning every day, you know. And they're helping us as well, because it's our first time creating training for them, or for anyone. You know, they're saying, oh guys, this is missing, you know, what happens if this, and we're constantly learning about how to refine processes, how to make it as simple and as easy as possible, so that, you know, you can just pass it on to anyone. You know, if we can really make it just a seamless process to get new people trained up, and you know, just make it really simplified, then that'd be ideal. Yep. Yeah, so out of the 15 there, we got 16 signed on and 15 that are live. It was 70% occupancy across the board. So based on this, I mean, we've got them in different areas, so we're now able to tell, like, this area works really well, this area doesn't. So it's quite handy being able to have that information. I'm just getting ready to go to a networking event hosted by Dan Budden and Ollie Whitehouse. It's all about service accommodations. So it's like a serviced accommodation community that they've created. It's like an online platform where anything related to Airbnb is on there. It's massively useful to our business, and they're having an in-person networking event in Manchester, which is handy. So yeah, it's going to be a good night, meet some operators that, you know, are doing the same thing as we do, and see how we can help each other. I'm really looking forward to this event. I think it's so important to be around the people that are in your industry. I know that property is very collaborative as an industry, you know, you can do joint ventures and stuff, whereas other industries are less so. You know, you're more seen as like, oh, strict competition rather than how can we help each other. But even still, I think, you know, if you're in any industry, get yourself around people who are doing it, because you're going to learn from each other's experiences, and you just get yourself in that mind frame. You know, if you spend too long out of the game away from people who are doing, you know, whether it's just general business or you know, your specific industry, then you're hindering yourself. I think your mind needs to be around people like that, who are wanting to grow, who are wanting to learn, who are wanting to improve on whatever it is that you do. So we're at 20 stories Manchester. I'm in an elevator that doesn't have a button, so it just goes right to the top. I'm going to assume that it's number 20. Right, so just got done at the SA community event. So good, like so sick. Being in that room is just so inspiring, because people in there are absolutely crushing it, like double, triple, quadruple more the units that we've got, and it's just so inspiring, man. Like, you know, seeing the things that these guys are doing is just makes you want to work super hard, and yeah, just love going to these kind of events. So shout out to Dan Budden and Ollie Whitehouse for putting that event on. I didn't manage to get too much of it on the video. I got a couple of videos on my phone, and then my phone died after not that long, so yeah, apologies for not capturing more of that. But yeah, well, they're going to be having more events, so make sure that we get a lot more on there. Tomorrow, what have we got on the horizon? We've got to head to Media City to sort out some Wi-Fi, and then it's just pretty boring continuing with training. You know, we've hired the second VA, so now it's just training, creating training guides, making sure that they're set up on it. It's the boring stuff. I'll try and make it fun for you guys for the vlog. Yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna drive home now. I'll see you tomorrow. Morning, campers. Last night was a movie, man. Last night was sick though, to be fair. Met some really good people. Oh, it's so slippy. Yeah, but back to it this morning, back to the grind. I've been sending out some quotes for direct bookings. So now that we're sort of in the winter season, the quieter periods compared to summer, the direct booking focus for us is, you know, we're really going hard on it.
we want to make sure that our clients' properties are booked. We want to make sure that our properties are booked, and you know, we need to be reaching out to companies to be able to do so. So I've managed to send over 2 quotes today for one of them's going to be staying for hopefully a few months, and he has just paid as well, I've just seen, which is amazing. And yeah, the other one hopefully is going to be staying for a few weeks. But during these periods, like, we're more than happy to accept lower rates compared to summer, because we just want people in there. You know, if we look at the spreadsheet at the end of the month and we've broken even, we're happy with that, because at least we're covering our losses during winter. And if we've made some profit as well, happy days. I've just clocked as well, so I'm on my way to Media City right now because we've had new Wi-Fi installed and it's not working. The cleaner's reported that it's not working on her checks, so I am going to sort that out, make sure that it is. And I was like, right, let's go Tim Hortons drive-through. On the way, get a coffee, get a bit of breakfast. And then I realised I've still not got my window sorted, so I actually can't go to a drive-through. Like, this window is still plastic, so I'd need to open the door, but I don't think I'm going to have enough room to do that. So yeah, welcome to the struggles of a rising entrepreneur who is too busy to sort his car out. I will get it sorted next week, because I do need to get it done, especially now it's absolutely freezing outside. It's not helping, but yeah, I've just not had the time. Just started driving here though, and there's 3 cars, because it's snowing. Like, I don't know if you can't even see. There you go. It is so slippy. It's been snowing all night, and yeah, it's just mental. Fucking hell. But yeah, there's been 3 cars that have crashed already, which is crazy. Like, full on bad crashes as well. So hopefully the motorway is going to be clear, gridded, or else you might not see me on this vlog again. Yeah.
And it's really funny with you know, timings and things.
Yeah,
so sorry
of course.
But I'm doing viewings on a Saturday at 12:30.
Okay.
Same time, and then
definitely.
taking from there.
Yeah, whatever works best for you, really, isn't it? Okay, that's fine. What's the guy paying at the minute for the rent?
It's about, I think he's paying about, let me just check, sorry.
That's all right.
So I put the rent to about 900.
Yep.
But like I said, I've been having problems with this guy, so he's going to be moving out anyway. And that's why, like I said,
the contract that we use gives you more protection than a standard AST. So overall, I see it as a win-win.
I had a few other companies doing similar things to you. They approached me as well after you. So I think it's a new concept which I was probably getting out there.
Definitely.
And do you know, can I just ask you, with the 3-year contract that you spoke about, is it 100% 3 years? Like, if I'm just, my key concern is, when I spoke to some of my colleagues who has properties as well.
Hey guys, so today is Saturday. I've just pulled up to Bolton for a viewing. So this is through a landlady. I actually got a call yesterday from No Caller ID, and that's due to a job. She's not like dodgy, but yeah, she called me up. He said, "Hi Tom, it's name. We spoke months ago. You came and did the viewing in Bolton, and yeah, I just want to see how you're getting on." So I was like, "Oh yeah, sound." Basically, back then we didn't really have any investors. She needed a tenant to move in pretty soon, like the same weekend. And we just couldn't do it. Like, we just couldn't source a deal in Bolton because the investors that we had at that point, it was just like Manchester, Leeds, Liverpool, big cities. So yeah, anyway, you know, she's called me back because she loves the idea of what we do. And a few months later, and she just said, "Yeah, I've got a new property coming up. We've got a bit more time on this one, and I want to see if you guys can do anything with it." Now, I don't know what the property looks like, but I'm here. It's Saturday afternoon, got a busy weekend ahead. This is actually my last weekend working at my job, so that's sick. It's exciting, but yeah, I'm super busy this week. I've still got to edit the YouTube vlog, and I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to get the time. I might have to do it after work at like 3 a.m, which is going to be fun. I had to do that like 2 weeks ago as well. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. I've got this to help me through. New tonic. If you've not tried this, get it. Insane. It's like it's an energy drink, but not like the normal ones. It's got loads of nootropics in there for your brain health, you know, for your brain function, and it's got the same caffeine as a coffee, but without the crash. It's sick, mate. So sick. I'm obviously not sponsored by them yet, but yeah, if you do suffer from brain fog or lack of creativity or focus, defo get it. It's like $2.50 a can or something. You can only get it in like a 12-pack, but yeah, it's sick. So I'm gonna do this viewing and I'll let you know how it goes on. These lot doing Dubai real estate, they don't know what they're missing in this English weather. Good viewing anyway, and yeah, the property there's a couple of things that need to be sorted on her end before we can move ahead. So, you know, there's been a leak there, and, you know, plasterboard needs to be changed, and yeah, and then we can sort of go ahead. But yeah, we're going to price it up. I'm going to get the address sent over to one of our team, who's going to do the research on the area, but yeah, hopefully it can go ahead. The importance of social media came out there as well. So after the first viewing, we connected on LinkedIn, and she's been following the journey along with us, and, you know, she wants to work with us because of that, you know, because she's now got more of a trust element. When we first pitched rent to her, she was a bit hesitant because she'd never done it before, she'd never heard of it before, and, you know, obviously you're going to be a little bit wary of that. So yeah, she's been following along on LinkedIn, seeing what we've been doing for other clients, seeing how we've been taking care of properties, and yeah, she just wants a part of it. So yeah, that's the importance of social media. You know, even if you don't think people are watching, they really are, and every single post that you put out there is just more social proof, and it's kind of like a silent salesman. It's, you know, your marketing is effectively showing people, you know, it's showing people what you do and how you can be trusted. And so marketing, yeah, you really need to take care of that. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just get it done. So here I was at 4 a.m. after work editing the vlog. A bit late, but we got it done, and that's the main thing. Good morning, it is Sunday and I'm on my way to meet an investor. So this investor has reached out to me through social media. They actually went to my school and have been getting involved in property training courses and that kind of thing. And you know, they're just struggling, so, you know, they reached out to me. So I've said, you know, what can I do? So I said, well, let's meet up, have a chat, see if there's any way that we can help. So that's what I'm about to do now. I was up until half five, editing the vlog after work, which was, yeah, not nice, but it is what it is. Gotta do what you gotta do. Right, just got out the meeting, that was really good, and now I'm heading to my nana's house to help her set up YouTube on her TV, because she's been watching the vlogs with her sister Maeve. So shout out to my nana and Maeve, two biggest fans, love you both. So yeah, I'm gonna go help her set it up on her TV. So the YouTube vlog is out, and every Sunday what I'll do is I'll take that YouTube vlog and I'll cut it up into a smaller section. So I'll get it into about a minute or a minute and a half into a reel, pop that on Instagram and put a link to the YouTube, just to drive more traffic there, because everything that we put out is just more and more marketing. And the reason why we do it is know, like and trust. You know, people see us out there, they see us in multiple different places. We're front and center of the mind. So when it comes to doing business, when it comes to, you know, if somebody wants a property sourcer, if somebody wants an Airbnb manager, then business can come from that, because they think, you know, Tom and Freddie, I know that these guys operate in this area, I know that these guys do this, and that's what marketing's for. It's, you know, just get yourself out there as much as possible. Show people what you're doing. You know, we've had people reach out to us because of this YouTube vlog, because they see what we're doing, they see that we take care of people, they see that we have integrity and morals, and people want to be a part of that. So make sure that you take your marketing seriously. As always, thank you so much for watching the vlog. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.